Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by Dragonfiretools.com, and this is the Clamptite tool. And if you've watched the show before, you've probably seen it. I mean, you've seen how it's done. Sonora, you get a lot of feedback from folks that use the Clamptite tool. You got a phone call one time. You said it was a unique one.
It was one of my favorite, actually. The gentleman was going to place an order, and he said, "Can you overnight a tool for me?" I said, "Absolutely. Just go ahead and give me the information." He said, "The Boeing company." And I said, "Are you connected with Boeing Aircraft?" And he said, "We are Boeing Aircraft." I said, "Can I ask another question? What are you doing with it?" And he said, "It's experimental parts for NASA." He said, "This is the deal." He said the tech had lost the tool, so I needed to overnight it to him. And smart guy, though, what he said is, "Let me go ahead and order two. I'm going to have one in supplies or whatever so that they'll have it, always have it for them."
So if it's good enough for NASA, it's good for your hot rod at home. And they're using it for experimental aircraft. There's a lot of different uses for the Clamptite tool, and you brought some neat stuff for show and tell here.
You know, there's so many things. This is a piece of scat tubing for airplanes.
For air.
Yeah. So for experimental, you can use it everywhere for your hose clamps and all kinds of applications. But with certified plane, then you're looking for two places, which is your fire sleeve and then your scat tubing. Also, this is a piece of a stanchion, and it's just stainless to stainless all put together. But check that out, Dave.
This is totally MacGyver. This is awesome.
It is.
And that is not going to budge. If you are MacGyver, this is the one tool you want to carry with you.
Absolutely. Just because it does so many things. You can band stuff together. You can, you become the engineer. And
Yeah.
You're gonna,
So right here, banding stuff together, there's a perfect example.
yeah, as a banding tool or as a reducer or even a piece of a rope where it's a marine rope or a tie line.
And that's something, if maybe you're out in your boat, you're out in the middle of the open water and there's nothing else to do, but you've got your Clamptite tool and some wire.
Absolutely.
You can make some fixes out there that you need to do.
Here's a really clever one. Check that out.
Well, this is Allen wrench there. So now you've got a T-handle on your Allen wrench. What a great idea. So drill a hole there and use the Clamptite tool to fasten it. And now you've got some leverage there with the T-handle, and you can find it in your toolbox. Here's one that kind of blows my mind. You had to use the big Clamptite tool for this one here, but you got a fence post maybe that's coming apart, and so you carry this out on the farm, and instead of buying a new post or having to drive a new post, I hate digging, by the way, if you know me, and so this is the perfect thing for me. You just repair the old post like that, and you had an incident as well at home, and you were able to use Clamptite to get you out of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happened is my attic ladder, the frame part of it cracked. It didn't totally fall apart, but I just clamped it and it's just solid as can be. And so I'll replace it when I have time. But it's just, like I said, it's a MacGyver tool. There's just so many applications. It can save you time, money, and then get you out of a pinch.
All right, Nikki, I've been on the socials. I've seen a lot of people asking questions about the Clamptite tool. A lot of folks ask, why so many steps?
So many steps because you're making a custom clamp. Let me ask you, building a car. What is your dream engine? How much would it cost you? If you put that into your thoughts a little bit, you're attaching hoses with basically a $2 clamp. Why would you do that?
Why would you trust it to a regular hose clamp?
It is a lot of steps, but it's custom. And once you get the hang of it, you know the way the wire works, you're set, and you're going to be putting clamps on everything.
Yeah, a couple of test runs, and all of a sudden you're making clamps like in 2 minutes, so it's no big deal.
Absolutely.
It's not really a lot of steps.
Yep.
And I see a lot of other people ask, why not just use a traditional hose clamp, the tower clamp, or just the hose clamp we're used to using?
You know, one of the comments that I actually saw was like, if only the world had a hose clamp, right? It's like, of course, all the problems that you actually have with hose clamps, the flat spots. It's not a true 360-degree seal either, and it's not custom. You're carrying around a bunch of hose clamps just trying to find the right size, and typically you're going to strip that thing out just trying to make it work. So yes, I understand. If you're taking hoses on and off, absolutely throw a hose clamp on there. But that custom rod of yours, that custom car, deserves a custom clamp underneath that hood. And it's sexy. It looks good too. So why not?
And if you want to keep it looking true to the original, if you really want to, you can put that old tower clamp back on top of the Clamptite clamp.
Absolutely, just slide it right over top. It's low profile enough, and it's equal pressure all the way around, so it's a 100% connection on there. Slide that tower clamp, just tighten it up just a little bit. Now you know it's being held properly underneath, but you're back to your original look and for judging purposes.
I've seen a lot of folks also ask, once it's on, once the Clamptite clamp is on, you do have to cut the hose to get it off. What's it like to remove it?
We get that one a lot. Everybody's like, well, you know, are you going to cut the hose trying to remove it? You're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's a lot simpler than that. Just instantly, just pull those tabs, back out, grab a hold of that center, comes right off. You can put this back on something smaller if you wanted to. Also, it's wire. Get another piece of wire, start over again.
Well, there you go. Simple as that. Some of the common questions answered about the Clamptite tool. You can find a lot more answers on social media. You can also buy a Clamptite tool at clamptitetools.com. You're going to find all kinds of uses for it. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. Stay tuned.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. And by Neil Chance Racing Converters, home of the world's fastest automatic door slammers.
Hey there, welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, if you're in an accident, God forbid, you're going to want to get help right away. And this device right here is called the Car Angel. It's going to ensure that you get that help right away. How does it work, Patrick?
So at the end of the day, as a car accident detection system, it has a shock sensor built into the device. So it will obviously pick up on a severity of the accident, level 1, 2, or 3. So that information will get sent to your preloaded contacts and with your GPS location.
So family members, boss, friends, whoever needs to get that information. And then at that point, they take that information. It has everything they need with the coordinates and the impact and even allergies you showed me. So whatever you load into it, so penicillin, for example, or something the medics might want to know, it sends it to them.
For sure.
They call the medics and you get that help right away.
Yeah.
Very good. So I've already got a cell phone though. So why do I need the Car Angel if I've got a cell phone?
So your cell phone either might be flat during this collision or it might be thrown around the car as well.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, just hanging a turn, sometimes your phone will slide and it's gone. So just imagine the impact of an accident. And not to mention the fact you may be knocked unconscious in an accident as well. So the Car Angel is perfect for that.
That's correct, yes.
So there's a pretty famous name behind the Car Angel. Who came up with the idea?
So the idea was actually come up by a guy named Terry Ashwin. And he's actually a well-renowned inventor. The golden hour was one of the things that he actually read in the Europe magazines. And that was obviously an inspiration to come up with an idea of the Car Angel.
And the golden hour being you need to get help within the first few minutes. Otherwise, things can get dire, especially if you're severely injured or in bad weather conditions and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
So looking at the Car Angel here, I know if you see something electronic, people are going to wonder, what does it take to wire this thing up? How complicated is it?
Literally, you would have to take double-sided tape, stick it straight onto the unit, and stick it anywhere onto the windscreen or your back window, wherever you want.
So there is no wiring?
There's no wiring at all.
Nothing's going to enter into it with the car's warranty or anything like that?
Not at all.
Very good. And in this case, we've got this classic car, this Camaro from 1981. The owner wants the protection, then you don't have to pull the carpet up or mess with the dash or anything to put this on.
Not at all.
Now let's talk about battery life here. Is this rechargeable? How does it work?
Yeah, so it has a solar panel on it, as you can see on the back of the device, and that obviously will charge in the sun. It also has a backup battery, 3.6 volts, and it's a 3,600 milliamp hour battery.
How do I know the battery's still working? Because you turn this thing on and you just leave it there. It's good for like 3 years, you said.
Yeah, up to 3 years.
Yeah, so how do you know it's still working?
So it will send you a check-in message once a month with the battery status.
And then when it dips below a certain point, how do I know that?
It will go to 3.2 volts, and obviously from there, it'll pick up to send a message through to you to say that it needs to be charged.
What is it like to set it up?
To set it up, you would actually just go into our database, which is the devices.com site. From there, you would just set up your profile. As simple as that.
That's it. So whatever contacts. How many contacts can you put in it? How many people will this alert if something happens?
As many as you want, pretty much, yeah.
Very cool. You let the whole world know you're in trouble there. Now, the technology, this is the Car Angel. Your company, Angel Aspirations, also has a device called the Asset Angel. And how does that work and what's that for?
So the Asset Angel is used for fleet management. That's one of the things. You could put it on any high-valued asset as well for you. And one of the other things you can do is on a motorhome. I mean, you can see where your motorhome went. You could also put it onto your staff vehicles as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, so if maybe you own a delivery company,
Yeah.
and anytime this thing stops, it's going to report in and tell you what stops were made and everything.
That's correct, yes.
It's a great way to manage your people, a great way to manage time and assets as well.
Sure, 100%.
It doesn't cost a whole lot to get this unit right out of the box here. Beyond the initial low cost, is there a fee beyond there?
There's just a small cost involved.
Just a monthly fee?
Yeah.
I tell you, Patrick, you guys thought of everything. There's even a button on the Car Angel where if you want to just check in, if you get to your destination, you hold the button for 5 seconds, it sends a note to everybody on your list saying that you've arrived safely. The Asset Angel can protect your entire fleet, and the Car Angel can protect the ones you love. You can find all of this at angelaspirations.com. We shall return with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com when we come back.
Motorhead Garage, brought to you by Dragonfire Tools. Heavy-duty workbenches and cabinets for your shop or garage.
Thanks for cruising along with Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, these days, everybody is a videographer. Of course, you have your action cameras, you've got your phone, you're getting video all the time. And when it comes to capturing the action, when you're doing something active, maybe skiing, you're driving your race car, your UTV, action cameras, it can be kind of a hassle. How so?
The problem with action cameras is you have to unmount and then mount them every time you want to change your shot. It's great once you get it set up, but after that, you lose your momentum. Change it over to the next shot. By then a couple minutes have passed, maybe you've lost what you were already trying to shoot. You have to pick up that momentum again, and sometimes that's hard to find.
And we know the normal routine. You know, think about if you're out in the elements too, and you've got to take it, and you've got to unscrew this.
Exactly.
Maybe it's cold and you're freezing.
Gloves on when you're skiing,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it can be a real hassle. So how has snap mounts changed the game entirely?
We've come up with a dynamic, magnetic, 2-part action camera mounting system. And basically what we do is we take the snap mount and it can just attach to anything that's either magnetic or to any of our adapters or any of the other products that we make here.
You're obviously wearing the magnet there on just a regular necklace there. And you have some accessories here that can mount to any sort of device.
We came up with an adapter setup here, and basically what this does is it attaches to any existing action camera mounting system you may already own. And you attach your snap mount, want to get that shot right there? There it is.
That's it.
Let's say you want to move it to your selfie stick, take a selfie shot, it pops right off, slaps on, you take your shot. Move it off there, take your first person view shot. Just keep going from there.
This is great for YouTubers, especially. Now you turn into a 5-camera shoot.
Absolutely, yeah. We do have a lot of content creators on YouTube in various industries, off-roading, race cars, bass fishermen, all over the map.
And I know a lot of the folks now that maybe race or have a UTV or something like that, doing something really sort of violent, are wondering just how will this hold up?
Sure, so with the right setup, we do have what's our locking adapter right here. It's got these little tabs. You basically come in at a 45-degree angle, lock it down, now you have a physical stop, and that's not going to come off anymore.
So it's not just the magnet.
Exactly.
But the magnets themselves, how strong are they?
So these are N52 neodymium magnets. They're the strongest commercial-grade magnet that you can buy.
And that coupled with the snap, makes the snap mount, makes it totally secure.
Absolutely, yeah. The two magnets together pull about 10, 12 pounds a piece, so you get about 60 to 80 pounds of pull pressure, depending if you have anything in between them that you're compressing on.
Now you brought a couple new gadgets with you. This is pretty cool. Tell me what this is all about.
Yeah, that's our smartphone adapter. So it basically allows your snap mount to become a smartphone-friendly device. It has 2 locking mechanisms. One, so that there's a twist lock in the back that allows you to pull it open, so you can mount your smartphone. And then there's also a tab. You can change from vertical to horizontal and lock down. And then you can lock everything down. It's nice and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere, and you take whatever shots you need to do.
That's fantastic. And now I know maybe mounting a magnet to the side of your vehicle isn't always a great idea, but you guys have taken care of a problem there as well.
And initially this came from customer feedback. They would mount it on their vehicle. If there was dirt or dust in between the snap mount and the vehicle paint, we would get scratches. So basically what we did is we created a silicone boot that wraps around the snap mount. It's form-fitting, and it keeps the snap mount in place by increasing friction, and scratches are gone.
Very cool. And now this kit here, this is something that's new. Tell me about this kit and the case.
This is our new kit that we're coming out with. It comes with basically all the accessories that we provide. And the kind of cool thing about this case is there's a built-in metal plate underneath the top here. And basically it becomes magnetic, so your snap mount mounts right into it if you have your cameras mounted, etc.
Yeah.
And it basically keeps them from shuffling around too much or making noise.
What are some of the applications here? What are you hearing from your customers?
We hear a lot of positive things. It's not perfect for everything, but it's great for a lot of stuff. The most rugged and extreme, some people have issues with, even though we think we've captured that pretty decently. But yeah, we have pro bass fishermen that use it, race car drivers, people taking it off-road all the time. It's all over the place. We've even had people skydive with them.
The Jeep behind us is our test mule. So tell me what you guys have mounted on this thing.
Obviously, we would use the hood just with the magnets themselves. We've placed a suction cup on the side with one of our locking adapters. We've got an adhesive mounted adapter up on the windshield.
You get an arm attached there to the headrest.
Yep.
That also is forward looking, and you can also look out the back window as well.
Yep. And then we've got what we call our snap plate, which is a metal plate with adhesive on the bottom, just mounted to the dash.
Amazing what you can do with just one action camera if you have snap mounts. You can find these at snapmounts.com. You are going to love them. They're revolutionary. Once again, it's time to head to Indianapolis to the Performance Racing Industry Show, where Ted Jones has a car that's a real looker.
The PRI show, you know, PRI stands for Performance and Racing Industry. Talk about racing. Here is one of the most famous sportsman race cars ever in history. This is the 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner of John LaBousse. Now, if you're an ET bracket racer, you know that name. This guy has won thousands of dollars and did it with this car that he called the Loose Caboose. When this car rolled into the pit area, it struck fear in the hearts of everybody because this was one of the sharpest, most clever bracket racers ever. And believe it or not, he also ran in several super stock classes. The Loose Caboose, completely restored, here on display at the PRI show.
Great stuff, Ted, and we've got more great stuff right around the corner here on Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Stay tuned.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by Acello Racewear, race, wrench, repeat, and by Dynabraid, the first choice for abrasive power tools today and tomorrow.
Well, I bet you're wondering one thing. Why? Well, the answer is because I can, and the reason I can is because this is a workbench from DragonfireTools.com. And I gotta tell you, these things are super strong. The drawer fronts, 14 gauge powder coated steel, and the drawer bodies, 16 gauge galvanized steel. The drawer bottoms are gusseted, and that means single railed drawers can hold 200 pounds, and the drawers with 2 rails can hold 400 pounds, even when you extend them all the way out. Let's talk about the top. The top is made from 14 gauge 304 stainless steel, so in short, that means it's tough and it's corrosion resistant. And check this out, Dragonfire Tools thought of everything. Electrical outlets and USB ports built right in. We use ours every single day to charge all kinds of tools and to power everything in the shop. But don't stop with a workbench. Outfit your entire workshop at DragonfireTools.com. Now, Dragonfire has upper wall cabinets to go above your workbench. And if you want to make a whole system for your shop or garage, you can get some great looking corner cabinets to tie it all together. One for the upper cabinets, one for the lower. You'll be amazed at how much extra storage space you get out of those too. And speaking of extra storage space, Dragonfire Tools has a locker cabinet. And check this out. How about a 22 drawer roll around? Cabinets above for storing bigger stuff, and drawers in a number of different sizes to store all of your gear below. And let me tell you, Dragonfire Tools workbenches store way more than I could have ever imagined. First of all, the drawers extend fully, so there's no lost space like a lot of other workbenches and toolbox, and you can access everything in the drawer. And even the smallest drawers are tall enough to handle your deep well sockets standing up. Talk about a space saver. And we fit all of this into just 6 drawers of a Dragonfire Tools workbench, probably what you'd have in 2 or 3 toolboxes right now. And get this, we still had 14 drawers left over. You can get a Dragonfire Tools workbench in lots of configurations to suit your needs. Our workbench is 9'4" 1/4 inches, and that's the 20 drawer model. You can also get it with 18 or 30 drawers as well. The Dragonfire workbenches also come in a 7-foot version, and that's super flexible too, available with 12, 17, or 24 drawers. Now consider all of those features and add some heavy-duty casters, and now you can take all of your tools right to your project. No more walking back and forth. Whether you're a professional or a hobbyist, workbenches from Dragonfire Tools will change everything. Find your perfect workbench at DragonfireTools.com, and don't forget to enter promo code Motorhead for a discount and free shipping. Well, they say the proof is in the pudding. Here's your pudding. Take a look at this RAV4 before we got to it with AG Products. Filthy, but once we spent about 10 minutes on it, very little effort. AG Products took care of all that dirt, Dave. How did you do it?
Yeah, so you always start with your basis, whether you're just doing a simple wash or you're doing a lot of buffing and clay barring. You always start with the foam soap first. That just gets everything, all the grit and grime off. If you have some stubborn bugs, it's that bug remover you want to put on first before you move on to the unicorn foam soap.
And then once you get the unicorn foam soap on, you've got a nice clean there that's going to last you a while. Maybe every couple of weeks you want to wash the car or something like that.
Correct.
What if you're doing some touch-ups in between? You want to roll out just to go cruising or go to a car show or something like that?
Yeah, just your car show, your Sunday driver, you only put a couple thousand miles on a year. That's going to be that waterless wash, so you're not getting into those older seals. You can just quick wipe on, wipe off. It's good to go to the car shows. And a good maintainer, it'll keep that water beating off throughout in between washes. That's going to be our strawberry lemonade spray and wax.
All right, and that smells great too, by the way.
It does smell really good.
Indicate. So just as the unicorn foam soap is the go-to for the exterior, what's the go-to for the interior?
Yeah, you always want to start with the all-purpose cleaner, the Twisted Apple. Again, in the interior, it's a quick little basis to get things going. Move on to your add-ons after you get that basis clean. Leather conditioner, got your glass cleaner, and then you finish lining it up with the diamond glans.
I know we ran through this kind of quickly, but we could because this system is just that easy. You can find all of this at shopagproducts.com. You can get the kind of clean that we have here on this RAV4 and more. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode, and we're going to do it again next week, of course, and we hope you join us then. In the meantime, if you have a product you want to see featured here on the show, email me, dave@motorheadgarage.tv. We'll get you here in the studio to show it off. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, we'll see you next week. So long.